The expectations and hype around a Hindi film have come nothing close to what has been the case of the days leading up to the release of Brahmastra in the post-pandemic world we live in today. The case of a 10-year labor of love of Ayan Mukerji, the ambitious decision to focus on creating a modern-day fantasy film with elements of ancient Indian history and culture, and to stick to your guns and belief for a vision despite the treacherous journey of complications along the way. Going in for this film, I really went with a clean slate, not knowing what to expect. Credit has to be given to the makers of the film for keeping the massive spoilers and developments of the plot of the film at bay for so many years, as the audience really was stepping into the theatre with no preconceived notions. The big budgeted Bollywood release focuses on a full of life and simple man Shiva, played by Ranbir Kapoor, who is a DJ and gets unexplainably drawn to the beauty and grace of Isha, played by Alia Bhatt. Their bond and love for one another grows while several developments take place in the realm of the unknown, in some way or the other impacting the life of Shiva. From his bond and connection with fire, the visions he gets of an impending doom, there is more to his life and purpose in the world. Understanding that one of the strongest powers of the world, the Brahmastra, currently in pieces, if united, may lead to the decimation of the world. Shiva gets introduced to the practice followed for centuries by capable individuals and how they possess the power of various astras and safeguard and control the limitless power of the Brahmastra, ensuring it doesn't get into the hands of the dark side. When Junoon, a powerful being played by Mouni only has the goal of absolute annihilation, Shiva and the protectors of the realm make sure to do everything that they can to protect the universe from being reduced to ashes. I have to be completely unfiltered and honest with you guys, as there is a lot to pack in with this film, and anyone telling you that this is an absolute knockout of a film in every department, or even telling you that it's trash and not worth your time, is lying to you. A film of this scale and the amount of elements it packs in its narrative requires a very nuanced approach with its review, because for me personally, this film lies somewhere in the middle. So getting right into it, here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of the film so that you guys can ultimately decide whether to watch Brahmastra in theaters or not. Background score and music. One of the most beautiful aspects of the film and one of the key contributors to why it has generated so much interest from the viewers is because of its soulful chart-busting music. The music essentially highlighting where the characters are headed rather than being an abrupt halt to the storyline. Dance Ka Bhoot is the introduction of the character of Shiva, which I have to tell you reminded me of Moria from Dawn, where Shah Rukh danced his heart out. Kesaria marks the journey to Varanasi for both the principal characters, and Deva Deva is Shiva's true understanding of his powers and purpose in this world. I have a huge gripe with Ayan for not using the sad Kesaria version in what I feel would have been the perfect heartbreaking moment, but the music has been a great catalyst for fans even to step into the theatre. Something that really stayed with me is the background score as well, that has been utilized as key entry and exit points for the characters, or even when the powers come into full form. The score, composed by Simon Franklin, really has captured the epic scale and grandeur that the film demanded. Several times when an impending attack is going to take place or key moments of battle ensue, shlokas assist the physical altercation with a rousing background score, and they really do enhance the sequences tenfold. A special surprise in the climax with the song Rasiya really has become my all-time favorite from the album that I hope they release officially soon. Rudimentary and childlike dialogues. When you will listen to some of the dialogues of this movie, you will actually feel like someone is spoon-feeding you concepts at a very basic, rudimentary and childlike manner. It made me think about the goal of the makers of the movie. It's not only to penetrate the market by simplifying concepts, but it actually seems like the makers were targeting a kids demographic with this film. The dialogues have this simplified Hinglish tonality that for many will be uncomfortable, and in moments cringeworthy as well. Dialogues like "Tu genda hai" or "Tu hathi hai" are flung around during moments of combat. A scene of a courting process begins as Ranbir says, "Is bandar ko phone number dogi?" A supporting character exclaims while visibly having fun, "Sunny, mera adventure nahi bigdao." So this odd combination of English and Hindi dialogues that are simplified and dumbed down might be very uncomfortable to the masses. Ye anathalay hai. Anna who? I'm lactose intolerant. Wo kaun hai? This is true even for the lyrics of a song like Dance Ka Bhoot, and especially the case of how Alia's character interacts with Shiva, constantly asking him, "Shiva tum kaun ho? Shiva tum theek ho? Shiva tum kaise ho?" You can actually play a game in the film of how many times Isha exclaims Shiva at the top of her lungs. Even the dialogues between Shiva and Isha are not aimed at getting to know one another, but in explaining concepts of the world like love, light and sacrifice. जब अंधेरा हो तो लाइट को ढूंढो, कुछ ऐसा ट्रायंगल टाइप का है जिसको जोड़ दो तो गोल बन जाता है, पिज्जा जैसा. Concepts that are dumbed down, I'm sure, to cater to a very young audience, but for the masses, it will be laughable. Whether or not the movie was successful at aiming the kids' audience is something we'll have to wait and see, but to deny it being uncomfortable for some would be naive. Marriage of VFX and action set pieces. The film is honestly a perfect marriage of CGI and special effects and how they enhance the action sequences. It has to be one of the most visually beautiful experiences I've had watching a Hindi film. If you look at the case of parkour and chase sequences that are choreographed in the altercation with the scientist, the insane car chase scene that is shot exquisitely, and the case of the insane interval block. After a long time, I noticed that the Hindi film industry took the interval block seriously, a coming together of mystical powers, great staging and a rousing background score. My favorite sequence, however, has to be Nagarjuna and the use of the Nandi Astra against a huge truck and in the makeshift temple. But the final battle sequence that we have seen in the glimpses as Shiva runs through the frame, annihilating goons while the Agni Astra takes the shape and form of a sword and an ultimate Gad, has to be the best. There is this one frame also with the Trishul and Shiva shouting as he attacks one of the main villains that will stay with you. It really is a sight to witness, and I have to confess that this movie hits different on IMAX. It's a big screen film experience in every shape and form. The core, sadly, is the love story. The romance actually dissuades the ultimate impact of this film because there is no purpose of Alia in this film other than being a regular girl that falls in love with him. The mass moments of developing the ultimate reaction from the masses come when the elements of ancient Indian history are explored and not when the love story is expanded. When the Astras are in full swing and Junoon is after her goal, the crowd goes absolutely insane. But the demerit of this film is that its main motive is to make the core of this film the love story, which I believe is its weakest quality. Even in dialogues between them, I realized that this is a young Alia, not the seasoned and matured actor that we know today, but having the frailties of a young performer. The love story and its lack of depth derails the interest of the audience from the mysterious elements, developing the best reaction from them even when a glimpse of action is focused upon. The leap of faith for the audience to be invested in the love story, there has to be more meat in Alia's character rather than being a generic love interest. And I think the biggest drawback of the film is that you want to give validation to some of the craziest theories me, you, and a lot of us formed from the marketing campaign, but all go to waste with Isha's character, as she's just a girl who tags along the journey, nothing more and nothing less. The childlike wonder and impulsive nature is not equated to anything bigger, as I would have assumed, and leaving everything to fate I feel is a case of just bad writing. The progression of them falling in love also is so abrupt that you wonder whether he even knows anything about her. A case of infatuation lacks depth, and the case of I love you also being communicated just does not make you emotionally long for both of them. Mixed performances. The movie really boasts of mixed performances and characters that are wasted. The supporting cast of veteran actors cannot be faulted though. Nagarjuna as Nandi Astra really showcasing the brute strength and loyalty. Amitabh Bachchan is in fine form but getting on your nerves with the sheer exposition he has handed over. As I said, a young Alia does look timid and uncomfortable versus the one that we all know and saw in Gangubai. Both her and Ranbir lack chemistry in this film, and it really does affect in absolutely being invested in their storyline. Ranbir Kapoor signed this film when he was in his early 30s, and for him to still be in this self-exploration mode in a mostly coming-of-age story is something we have seen countless number of times. He is formidable in his part, but it also makes me think that more than questioning his ability and role in the movie, I wonder whether he has outgrown these type of roles. Mouni Roy really gives her heart and soul to this film, and while some people are dismissing her role as hammy, I think she actually got the assignment of what this film required on point. I can't say the same, however, for her two sidekicks though, who leave absolutely no impression and just constantly shout and lack character in every way. Potential. I have to say that we as content creators and some stan accounts had better ideas of what the characters and their motives are than what transpired. The second half doesn't really develop the surprise element and leaves you with many plot points that could have been explored but left abandoned. Like for example, where did the veteran members suddenly go? Why is Dimple Kapadia reduced to being a helicopter pilot and nothing else? Why is the responsibility of fighting evil left to only the young students? Why does Amitabh Bachchan delay relaying important information to Shiva until it's almost too late? I understand that this is only part 1, but you really have to excite the audience to love this franchise. So why not explore the themes of the origin stories and the Astraverse more than by just reducing it to a complicated exposition dialogue delivered by Amitabh Bachchan that is so information dense and fast that even a character in the storyline says, "Mujhe to kuch samajh nahi aa raha." There were so many creative choices that the film could have made with respect to how good perseveres over evil and what the characters and their role in the universe is. But what is left is the most simplistic solution that many of you feared on the thing that can curtail evil. I wished Ayan really made the core of this film the complexities of the Astraverse, laid heavy focus on more action sequences, and didn't make the rather simplistic and surface level love story its core. It's a brave and novel attempt that is technically outstanding, but definitely underwhelming from a writing point of view. Will the financial fate of this film dictate whether part 2 will even be explored? I guess we will have to wait and see. But I hope it does materialize. It focuses more on the complexities that come with the realm of the Astraverse, the powers that come with the elements, rather than the love story that takes away from the potential of these stories becoming one for the ages. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about the movie. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.